All right, how you doing, Christina?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
It's good to see you.
You
All
too.
right, so Christina, I'm just going to talk to the audience, like watching the website or on YouTube right now, just for a second,
Okay.
just to explain like what this is. But all right, so basically, everybody who's watching, I just wanted to. So I've been doing Skype tutoring for a while, and I've been doing in-home tutoring for a while too. But the Skype tutoring has been going very well, and I thought that it would be interesting to kind of showcase to everybody what a Skype tutoring session looks like with me, basically. And Christina is a good friend of mine, and she has volunteered to help me do that, to showcase the tutoring session. And I'm just going to basically teach Christina, my friend, something about systems of equations, just in a short video. But I just want to give everyone a feel for what a Skype tutoring session with me looks like. Um, but anyway, we're actually, it's worth mentioning that we're pretty far apart also. We're on like literally opposite sides of the country. So it's good to kind of highlight the fact that Skype obviously makes it so that geography is not a barrier, for tutoring. But anyway, so Christina, how are you? You good?
I'm good.
Are you
There's a
ready?
cat on the table. Can you see
Yeah, I like your cat. Your cat's very cool.
him? He's very cute.
I like cats. I like cats and dogs. But all right, so let's I say we dive in. So basically what I like to do, Christina, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to kind of go back and forth between like a whiteboard and a picture of like various problems. I'm going to
Okay.
start with the whiteboard and just kind of give you a brief lesson of how to um, do something that has to do with systems of equations. All right,
Okay.
and I'll explain it once we're there, but I'm going to share the screen for now. And just let me know if you could see yourself.
Mhm.
Probably.
It's like flipped around. It's weird.
All right. Do you see the whiteboard here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. So here is the lesson. So basically, we're going to do systems of equations. And let me first explain what the heck a system of equations is. So typically, in a math class, what they'll do is they'll give you two equations, both equations featuring an x and a y variable. And here is what it looks like. So for example, they might give you something like 3x plus y equals 5. And they might also give you something like 7x minus y equals 15. Now, before I dive into this, does this at all like ring a bell from what
Yeah.
you've done in the past? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll ask, do you actually know what to do from here before I dive in? And if not, it's fine. That's what I'm here for. But just checking.
I
Okay.
don't remember. It was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
All right,
I
good.
remember there's like PEMDAS, right? That's what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to apply as much here. But I'm
Okay.
glad you don't know because now I feel useful. Okay.
Good.
So, all right. So basically, there's really three different ways to solve this. And when we say solve it, basically, we want to figure out what is x
And what is Y?
and what is y. Yeah. And to sort of translate this into like just normal layman's terms, basically it's like 3 times some number plus some other number equals 5. And 3 times that same number, that was here, minus that other number equals 15. So it's almost like they're giving you clues and you have to be a detective to figure out, what is x and what is y. Now, it so happens that there's like numerous ways to solve these. Okay, there's three like really famous ways to solve systems of equations. I'm going to present to you a way called the elimination method. In fact, I'm going to write that. Elimination. And sometimes they call it the addition method as well. All right, but this is the elimination method. And basically what you have to do is you sort of look for any opportunities to cancel out a term. All right. Now, the bottom line is we have a positive y right here, right? And we've got a negative y right here. So the bottom line is if I was to add the top equation to the bottom equation, this positive y would cancel out the negative y. Does that sort of make sense to you?
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. And by the way, you can add the top equation to the bottom equation as long as the equal signs are lined up and you've got like the x lined up over the x and the y lined up over the y. And this, we call this a constant. When the constant is lined up over the constant on the other side, then you can definitely add these together. All right. Now, different teachers would place different emphasis on like how much you need to sort of demonstrate that you're adding them, but I'm just going to do this for now. And the bottom line is when you do that, 3x plus 7x, and this is the stuff that you might need a little bit of a reminder of, this would end up becoming 10x.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring a bell to you?
No, but I would assume that's what it would become.
Yeah, and it's fine. Honestly, as long as you sort of remember the pattern, because I want you before we part ways to sort of demonstrate that you can do it. We don't need to get into the detail as to why that works, as long as you know that it does work. Okay. And we have y, quote unquote, plus and negative y. Well, that actually cancels out, like y minus itself. Well, that's just 0, right? So I don't mind just writing a 0. That's fine. And then we have 5 plus 15, and that is 20, as you know, right? Now, at the end of the day, we don't really need this 0 here. We don't need to write that because 10x plus 0, well, that's really just 10x. So we have 10x equals 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question to you is, when I say 10x, I want to make sure that you're very clear. You understand that this means 10 times x, right?
Yeah.
All right, so good. So in other words, it's basically like 10 times some number equals 20. So just using like common sense or whatever, what would that number be?
2.
Exactly. So that's like one way of approaching algebra or whatever. You kind of bring it to a certain point where you can very clearly see, oh, well, it's like 10 times 2 equals 20, obviously, right? But if you wanted to do it in a way that a teacher would typically recommend, they'd be like, all right, our goal is to get x to be completely by itself. Like this is our goal. We want x by itself, and we want some number over here. And the way that I like to explain it is like, it's like, all right, we want to get this x by itself. Well, what's in the way of x being completely by itself? Clearly,
Why?
Well, we have this 10 right here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that 10's in the way. So we have to get rid of that 10 somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so it's funny. You can make like little cartoons. I like the whiteboard. So we got to get rid of that 10 somehow. Now, the way to get rid of numbers, that are